Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Vince?
Good. Red, I was wondering if we were going to see it now that you passed.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
gonna still continue to do Tuesdays.
cool. I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Idris?
Hey, hi guys. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Oh, great. Awesome. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock down here in Prague.
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling sleepy a bit, but
Yeah.
Glad you joined us.
cool stuff, cool stuff. Just like literally my second time joining this thing, so I'm still kind of new to it.
Good.
Just study stuff. Yeah.
How long have you been studying for the CISSP?
I'm hoping to take it like next year, like early next year. But as far as studying is concerned, it's just here and there thing for me. I've not really pretty much sat down to say I want to start studying them, like because I just finished the CSEM, right?
You just finished which one?
The CSEM,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm pretty much taking my time with CISSP.
Do you have the 5 years experience that you need to sit for it?
I do actually, yeah.
You do. Good. Yeah.
I do already, yeah. So kind of waiting for my company to pay for the CISP. So I gotta wait till next year.
Yeah, lots of them will.
Yeah.
How was the season?
It wasn't bad at all. It was actually quite decent. Pretty much the same concept, think like a manager, right?
Okay.
And yeah, I think I really enjoyed it, to be fair. I really did. And I'm kind of looking forward to like how CISSP is gonna be different.
Yeah, Reg, it's got to be pretty fresh in your mind. What did you think about the exam?
I
What
thought
you mean? Oh, okay. Sorry.
yeah, I thought it was pretty. It was good. It wasn't the questions was as long as I thought it would be.
Okay, like
it was
question lengthwise, like sentences.
Yeah, they was like 2 sentences. It wasn't. Yeah, like 4 or 5. You got to read all this, try to figure out what they're talking about. It wasn't nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, you got lucky, man.
Really?
You
See,
really.
I took it last year and I failed it. Those questions were more lengthy, and you had to do the math and everything. But this one was more like you think like a manager. It wasn't real technical, like deep technical. It was pretty chill and stuff.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. But you know what? I had to keep reminding myself, like, think like a manager, think like a manager. And what I did, I read the questions, I read the answers, and then read the question again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's the method I used, and it worked pretty well for me. So,
Well, congratulations, man.
but thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Very cool.
All right.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think it was easy just because maybe you've done it before and like doing it again? It's like you just found it easier.
No, I think it's totally different.
Nah.
It's totally different. The way I took the CC associate exam, I passed that in April, and then the following month I took the CISSP. I got in there. I was so mentally drained, man. I just wanted to click him and get through it. I want to get over it. I was tired. Yeah, so I burnt myself out. And so that's why this time I waited and kind of went through it. And also my mindset is different.
Okay.
So I was thinking more of a technical perspective, like less of a manager with that one.
Right.
Yeah, so my mindset was different. The way I read the questions was different this time.
How many? I'm sorry. How many attempts did it take you, Reg?
It's my second attempt. I was able to pass it.
Okay, yeah, it took me my third attempt to pass.
Okay,
yeah. I took it twice before, and yeah, it was.
Paul, do you think the most recent one you took was easier than the previous two, or different in any way?
Yeah, for some reason it seemed easier, and a little bit to what Red said. In case anybody doesn't know, of course, you don't get the same exact exam if you retake it, but on my third attempt the questions seem more straightforward and not as lengthy. I don't know if they felt sorry for me or I just wanted the luck of the draw on the, you know.
It sounds like you're both saying the questions are less intentionally confusing, at least recently, compared to taking it in previous years, which is really encouraging.
Yeah, it's not as lengthy.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rex.
Yeah, just not as lengthy. It is straightforward. It was more straightforward. I just didn't get a lot of technical stuff. It was more like, what's the best option, in the question. So it wasn't as challenging. I've said more lengthy. Let me say it wasn't a little challenging. Still a challenging. It wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely challenging.
And just as a note, whoever's on the call listening, don't take that to mean that the tests, that the exams are easier now, because that's not what I'm saying. Because you could get I mean, the way the exams are presented, as far as I understand, it's not a set format. So don't go in thinking, well, Paul and Red said it's easier now, so I can relax. No, you got to prepare. In and out and backwards and forwards going into these exams to basically expect the worst and hope for the best.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What do you guys think are like the most, not accurate practice questions, but like most similar to the style that you saw in the exam, like out of the banks we've been doing between the boson or the Thor or whatever?
I would say it's a mixture. I would say it's a mixture of the quantum and Thor.
Yeah,
because I have taken some others. The Learns app, I didn't probably get nothing like the Learns app, because the Learn app just help you understand more the technical basis of it. But I would say the quantum and the Thor was more into gear, because I had to read it twice for some of them to understand what they were saying.
Yeah, for me, the Thor is paramount for me, because you have the different levels of difficulty, and Thor is pretty lengthy. So if you can get through a scenario that Thor throws at you, which usually is kind of in paragraph format, if you get used to that format, in my opinion, you would be ready basically for whatever they can throw at you. So a mixture of Thor and the boson, for me, if I had to name two, that's what kind of worked for me.
That's helpful.
Yeah. I used Thor majority of my studying, and Thor was good. Real good material.
Does he actually help? Does he help to be in a governance role, writing this exam? Because I work as an incident responder, and that kind of puts me more in the technical space. So does he help if you actually work in governance and risk?
As far as your mindset,
yeah,
I would say Thor does it. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing Thor does compared to others that I do like. You have to switch from technical back to manager. So it's constantly you may answer some technical questions, but then he'll switch it up and you end up going to some manager questions. So it really kind of gets your mindset to actually read it, to understand it. And then what I like about Thor is that when you go through them, you can go back and find out what you kind of miss.
Yeah.
Your weak areas. Yeah.
I don't want to take too much time away from my studying, but one other question I wanted to ask you guys, I think would be helpful for everybody. Do you think it's enough to just run practice questions like we do and then study up on the things people get wrong? Or do you think you really have to set aside some time to read through the CBK and study? Or do you think it might just be different on the individual? You see what I'm saying though?
I got you here. Go ahead, Paul. You want to deny? I can pick it back.
Yeah, I mean, most of you may not know me, but Vincent knows me. And back when I was kind of doing a study group a little bit, I had a little bit different format, and not saying that it was right or wrong, but my approach, of course, you want to hammer the exam questions, of course, but I've never been of the school where you just kind of do like these cram courses to get ready. I've never really ascribed to that.
Right.
Of course, yes, that's what you want to do, but that's not the only thing you want to do. And for the CISSP, you have to understand the content. You just can't go in and cram. This is one of them exams that's going to get you if you try to go in and cram and you don't understand the content. So to answer your question, in my opinion, yes, cram the questions, but make sure you understand to a certain level, because they will switch it up and do wordplay on you. Okay, so I would say dedicate at least 70% or 60% to cramming and 40%. Not saying to understand only 40%, but make sure you understand the content enough to know what they're talking about.
Right.
That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. What do you think?
I would say my opinion, I would say based off your background. So for me, I was a network guy, network engineer. I was a tech and all that good stuff, system administrator. So there was areas I was already strong in when it came to networking and all those things. So I'm a point since go through the questions, find the weak areas, and then go back and understand why you got the question wrong.
Right.
Because you may already be strong in one area. And so you want to focus. My weakest areas was software development. That's my weakest area.
So
and
read
so I read the chapter. That's what I did. I read that entire chapter so I could understand it. And then I homed in more on the questions with software. So I took almost like 2 weeks and did software development questions.
Right.
And then I went back over all the questions, and I was my score did improve.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's good. That's kind of how I've been studying, and now I'm shooting for it the next couple of months. So we'll definitely take that to heart.
I have a quick question, Reg or Paul, whichever one want to chime in. I know you all mentioned the bosom and then the Thor questions. I was curious, based on those 2 recommendations, have you all through your essentially narrowing down those 2 options, did you come across the destination questions or the loop questions? I was just curious to see if you all had any exposure to those options as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the destination certification. Those are very good as well. But for me, in my personal, this is just my personal opinion, the top 2 for me are still the Thor and the boson. And I think part of that for me, and I think Reg, you touched on that, is that if you get them wrong, you can kind of sort them by the different domains. And if you get it wrong, it explains what you got wrong and the subject matter, and it kind of goes over that, especially with boson. So I'm not sure if that helps you, but the destination certification is a very good one as well. But if I have to choose, the Thor is what got me with repetition, those long paragraphs and scenarios, and got me to thinking, and also time management. If you get a good practice on time management with those long questions, you have a very good chance of passing the exam if it's shorter questions. Because if you practice on long questions and you time yourself, you should be pretty much set going into that exam as far as time management. Yeah, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that helped a lot. I was just curious, with those 2 being the top 2, like what other options you all were exposed to that brought you to that decision. So yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah, I did quantum. I did quantum. I did some destination station. I did those. It was pretty good, but I stuck with Thor, LearnZap, and the quantum.
Okay, cool. Appreciate you.
And according to some of the readings, quantum is good when you get to the area when you about to take like a month out before they take the test. It's good to do the quantum, and that's what I did, and it worked. It worked for me.
Thank you.
By the way, you guys, don't beat me up too bad. You see me getting these questions wrong, and I'm a CISSP, so it's a little bit of so don't hold me to it, okay? I'm just kind of.
Hey, I feel you.
If we've been consistent about one thing, it's that we're all learning together.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm just putting that caveat out there.
Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move to the next question, or raise your hand if you have a question.
You have a question on this. So this is like one of the areas that I'm like diving more into because on the SDLC, I got that down pat because I come from project management. But as far as like the minute technical things, that's one that I'm gaining more traction in. So based on this, I haven't read the overall explanation yet, but based on this, like what brought you all to the conclusion that the transport mode, I'm sorry, the transport, but the tunnel mode was the most accurate in this case?
I'm gonna move up to the question again. It's something regarding two networks. That was really, you can go to the, oh yeah, it's already there also. Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. So the
Oh,
main
can you-
difference,
Can you scroll up
between,
on the question again? I'm sorry. Can you scroll up on the question?
The answer was actually on the question.
yeah,
Yeah, between two different networks,
and they have
instantly you
and more importantly, they have their own security gateway. So typically what happens with the security gateway is that the routers, the gateway routers, they're the one that handle the decryption and encryption, basically. So the two hosts do not actually know what's going on. So they don't know what's going on. So what happens is when you use the IPsec tunnel mode, it goes from network to network as opposed to host to host. The host to host is only used with the transport mode. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain.
Gotcha. And then, so on the host to host with the transport mode, what's the distinct difference between the transport and the tunnel? It's based on the fact that each one has their own security gateway. That's the key indicator.
Right. So for the tunnel one, yeah. So each has security gateways. So the two routers are the ones that handle the decryption and encryption.
Yeah,
But for the
yeah.
transport mode, the host are the ones that do this one. They do the decryption and encryption.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
That's a very good point. And questions like this about IPsec, Idris, I think you hit on it pretty damn good. You want to pay attention to what the terminating equipment is, whether it's host to host or whatchamacallit, host to host or like network terminated equipment to network terminated equipment. And that will help determine which of these you choose, because they will try to mix up the words in there and make it tricky for you.
I think another distinction with it also in tunnel mode, it encrypts the headers there, and in transport mode, it doesn't encrypt headers there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Any encryption.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So question, these are the Thor questions?
Yeah, these are Thor.
Okay, okay.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Victor. Okay. Now we have more A's. Let's go with this one.
Yeah, I think somebody posted something on the platform about how we need to always go for assessment before trying to fix things. Something of that sort.
Yeah, I heard someone say that.
That's why I went for that one. So
All right, we have more B's.
is the answer not B? It's B, right?
Yes,
Oh,
it's B.
oh, okay. Because you say the correct answer. Okay, yeah. Because I thought that A was okay. Gotcha. What's the difference between security testing and security assessment? Hold on, it
I
Testing,
think, I think,
you evaluate an assessment, you are checking for stuff.
right. Focuses on any part. Okay. Okay.
Hey.
Right. Ooh.
Like we have one, one, two, three, four. We have 4 C's. One, and your A's. Okay. We'll go with it should be C.
Please, do you mind just taking me back a bit? I just wanted,
That's fine.
if that's okay, yeah, just the answer all the way down to linear. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
All right, we have 4 C's, 2 D's,
No way. Oh yeah, you gotta do that first before approval. Wait, sorry guys, we have to explain this. I mean, if that's okay.
Yeah, the reason
And
why I was leaning against C and more on D is because it specifically mentioned scheduling scan outside of business hours. But if you think about vulnerability scans, depending on what kind of scan you do, it's not immediately inherent that it's going to affect efficiency in business operations. So it's not something that you have to schedule outside of business hours. And then from
Yeah,
here,
but
of
it's
course, you want to understand the scope first before you even have to, gain approval. So that was kind of my process of elimination, if
yeah,
I'm
but
correct.
Jeff, it actually it takes a lot of computing power, computational power, to be doing vulnerability scans. So is that not going to affect performance? Like, okay, if you're trying to scan on, let's say, a DC, for example, or on a server that is heavily used, right? It's going to take in a lot of CPU power as well. Am I right?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
think
can you
that
scroll down on the explanation again, please? I want to see what they're saying. Okay. Understand prioritizing the vulnerabilities to detect is the most important. Effectiveness is the most. The scan may reveal numerous vulnerabilities.
I'd say one of the key words in there was effectiveness. Right here, it says effectiveness of your vulnerability scan program.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you, yeah, it's not
Yeah,
really performance, it's
yeah,
effectiveness. So this will
right.
actually, yeah.
Okay, I missed that. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're saying that any type of vulnerability scan is always going to hit some sort of efficiency on the business side?
I would think so, right? I mean, logically, if I was going to be scanning a computer, right? I'll be using some of its power.
You know, let's say this right here too. If you use like Nessus, Greenbone, those type of scanners, it depends because you can do a say a SMB port scan, or you can specify a port scan, and you can hit every system, and it would never put any load. But if you do like a real intense scan with the scanners, it can impact you. But you can actually specify what you're looking for. If you want a basic scan, and the users will not be impacted.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why they get sign off on these things too, right? Because there will be some impact, maybe performance wise.
Yeah,
That's what I
based on the
thought.
type of scan. Yeah, because like if I used MAT one time, back in the day, and scanned an OT
Yeah,
environment, and it impacted that environment real quick.
yeah, that's
So
noisy, that one.
yeah, so I think the key question here is the effectiveness of the
Right.
program.
Gotcha.
One thing they did say to some of my studies, they said, that last question they asked, make sure you understand that part, because that would kind of sum up some things. Claudia used to always say, what are they asking you? So they can have two right questions, but one of them are going to be right, and usually that last question is really what they're asking.
And Big, I think you're right about reading the questions first. I'm sorry, reading the question, then going back to the options, and then going back to the question again. Yeah, so I think that's
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
need to
use that
remember
to
that.
do the entire test, and it did work. It did work when
Me
you
too,
read
yeah.
the question and answers, then went back to it. So
Yeah, you definitely want to do that because the mistakes I made in the first two, and I'm not going to hold you guys up, is that, but I think this is very important. You may see a question like this one that's a one-liner, and you may see an answer jump out at you like, oh, I got this. But you can have two or three answers that are correct, but you want the most correct answer. So you definitely want to read through the question and the answers and then make a conscious decision.
yes, yeah. And I'm gonna add this one thing that Paul says. That's one thing Thor really home in on. He said it will be all and Peter Ziegler the same thing. All of them could be correct. Well, you can have one question. I did run across this one question that covers all of them. And so a one answer that will cover all of the question, all the other answers. So that's something to look at, which one will actually cover all of them. right? And we got more Ds. We go with that one.
Yeah, but with a question, why can I mean I got looking at C, right? So I was looking at can that actually ensure? No, I understand like the part where automated data collection kind of makes a lot of sense, but conducting regular audits that could force people to do stuff, right?
Yeah, what I would counter with that is that it does ask the most effective way, because you think about with
Yeah.
audits, and this is, coming from someone that at first, before I honed in on the CISSP, I was flirting with the CISA, which is the certified auditor
Yeah.
certification. And you are eliminating human error or possible human error when you're going with implementing the security management system with the automated data collection.
Automation. Gotcha.
Because when you're doing the audit, it's going to be based on your decision making of what you pull,
Right.
because you're dealing with a lot of complex systems. So you're not going to be able to audit every single system, but you need to pull enough data where you get a decision based on what the full population may entail. So because of that, it's not going to be the most effective, because each auditor can have their own, realm of thought of how they came up with their conclusion.
Oh, okay. So Josh, would it be like pulling a sample out of a lot? Like you have a
Exactly.
lot,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Then you pull a sample out. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
One. Go to the next one. Right. Everyone got that one? All right, we have more Ds.
Well, here's an example of a secure by default system. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Does anybody answer that question?
What was the
Thank you.
question? What's an example of a secure by default system?
Yep, an example of it.
I can't think of this, but I'll use an example, and maybe it's not a good analogy, but like back in the day when I was doing network administration, system administration, it's way before you guys' time, but we used to use Ghost to image machines and servers and things of that nature. There are certain settings that we would put in there by default, right? Certain security settings. And when we rolled out those computers or servers or whatever, those were set by default for security reasons. That's the only thing I could think of as far as like secure by default. So you start out with basically a highly secured system, and if you need access, then you start removing certain access based on your level of access. I'm not sure if that's a good example, but that's just the one that came to mind.
I can add something to that. Windows, I believe Windows 11, Windows 10, one of them. When you install it by default, the firewall is on.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah.
Yeah, you try to ping, you can't ping it, so you got to disable that feature. That'll be secure by default.
Yeah, actually, that's the example the instructor manual uses. I just looked it up in there, or something very similar from Microsoft.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically secure by default. Paul, you remember Ghost? I used Ghost back in the day.
Yeah, I remember those two actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Ghost. Yeah.
It's cool.
Apparently, iOS is as well. Apple is also secure by default system. Interesting.
I'm sorry, say again, Idris?
Now, sorry, 1 second. No, I was just saying iOS, Apple is a secure by default system apparently.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So
You didn't say Apple systems were, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 Ds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cs. Okay, so we have 1, 2. We have more Cs. Okay, we have more Ds.
Oh my days. Okay, we got too much money.
Yeah, the fact that it said state of the art showed that, you know, from my perspective, money wasn't
Money wasn't a problem. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I
I
was
got
at
it.
first leaning on quality of service, but what drew me over to see is that if you think about it, like even when you set in the QoS protocol, it's actually going to be a hit when it comes to business operations, because you are prioritizing more, you know, of the important action points, but it's still slowing down the server nonetheless with other people with their normal business operations.
That's a good point, Joshua. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready for the next one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 C's, 1, 2, 2 B's, and 1 D. So we go with
One good technique I want to share real quick in case this may be helpful for anyone. The reason why I lean towards C is it's a technique. It's what is his name? Andrew Rundau, or however you pronounce his last name. But he states that you always want to go with an answer that would inherently address at least one or two of the other options. So when it comes to the security measures put in place against unauthorized access, you inherently will at some degree adhere to all relevant laws and regulations. So that's what.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yep. Definitely good advice for the exam.
Yeah, that is.
All right, just give me a thumbs up. You ready to move to the next one? One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have like 4 A's and 4 D's and 1 C.
Yes,
Yo.
Reg, you're the tiebreaker.
All right, we got okay, A. All right, good to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this one was more of a definition question.
That's why I didn't. Yeah.
All right. Just give me a thumbs up. You ready to move to the next one? All right. All right, so everybody's going to see this one.
It's kind of weird though because it actually can be as well.
What TCP?
TCP IP. Well, when you look at the whole concept of when they say TCP IP, are we talking about the USI model? Because as well, because
But-
again, if you think about it, it's got the presentation layer, which is still HTTPS. Okay?
Yeah, I think the TCP is that's what the
No, I
layer
get
4,
that.
layer 4, layer 3.
Yeah, that's the four layers. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the communication protocol, like I mentioned here in the paragraph. It doesn't encrypt anything specifically by itself. It's just the different ways of communication channels.
No, I get that. But if you think about it, like one of the layer, which is you have of the 4 layers, right? Trying to remember how I always think of the USI as opposed to TCP/IP. But anyways, you got the network layer, the God, I can't remember that. But anyways, there's the last one, which is the application layer, right?
Yeah.
So the one that's
Yeah.
application layer, it's got HTTPS in there as well.
Well, yeah. You actually spoke on the right then and there that within the TCP/IP is going to be the different cryptographies within itself,
Yeah.
and not necessarily that the
So
TCP. Yeah.
Those are weird questions, but yeah.
Yeah, scroll up to the question again. I mean, that's a good point you bring up, but you have to read these questions and look for those keywords. So it's asking for a cryptographic protocol, right? TCP/IP itself is not a cryptographic protocol out of those 4. I mean, what you mentioned is correct. As far as TCP/IP, that layer hosting, different other protocols, but look for those keywords in the question to kind of help.
Yeah. And another way to look at this, because I just remember of another technique that this guy Andrew mentioned as well, is that the best way to eliminate it is that if you're saying yes to TCP, you're saying no to every other question or every other option. So by saying TCP/IP, you're saying no to RSA, to SSH, and you're saying no to HTTPS.
I mean, that's how I chose my answer as well, right? It was RSA is obviously, cryptographic protocol, SSH as well, HTTPS as well. We know it uses TLS and all that. So, so I went for that one, but still, I felt like, that's fine.
What is Andrew's last name?
Hold on, I can look at that real quick.
Is it
It's-
Jaran?
Huh?
Jaran?
No, it starts with a R. Hold on, I can pull it up just real quick. He's like really good with he just came out with a beta course on Udemy that I finished up. It's like over 40 hours long. It's like very, very in depth. Hold on 1 second. Hold on just a second.
From Delaware.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like RAMDAYAL or something like that. Did you find it?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
Dario.
Oh yes, I know you're talking about. I did do his questions. He has 50 CCSP questions. So
Yeah,
I know you're talking about. Yes, yeah, he's real good.
Oh yes, I think I saw some of his stuff on YouTube. Yeah, he's really good. He does some practice questions too on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Going with D.
Interesting. Lowest packet loss. Primary indicator. Okay. Primary indicator of QoS is usually the lowest packet loss. Okay.
Oh yeah. So the lower the packet loss, the higher the quality.
I'm sorry, you said the lower the packet loss, the higher the what?
Yeah. The higher the quality of network service. So if I was talking to you right now and I have lower packet loss, then you can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
But if you have no availability, it doesn't matter if you can hear me or not, right? That's what kind of threw me with that question. So, but anyways, yeah. Yeah, I would have got that wrong as well.
That's interesting.
okay. So that's better than the automated one, automated analysis.
Now, when they're saying a third party, are they talking about an outside vendor or just anybody else?
No,
Any
it's a third
unbiased
party.
assessment.
Yeah, I think they mean anybody other than the pair.
Oh, anybody under their pair. That's how you interpret it.
That's how I
Yeah,
interpret
because it says right here, yeah, if you go back to the explanation, then I'll show you. Yeah, so right there it says it allows for an independent and unbiased assessment of the code. So literally just anyone there. Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I heard third party, I immediately thought like
Yeah.
an outside organization. I'm like, okay, that sounds too expensive. Like, so
Yeah,
okay,
that's
that
what I
makes
was
sense.
thinking. An independent,
But
unbiased.
why is the last one running though? I still don't know why the last one is running. Doesn't say, does it?
Admittedly, I just picked that, but I thought it said statistical analysis, not static analysis.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'll get you.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most effective way because it tools can. It's not okay because it was kind of unlimited. Okay, so. Okay. Interesting.
We could do one more after this and that'd be it for the night. We'll go with D for this one.
Ooh, so Dan is a snake. Oh my days.
Should have stick with B.
Bring the incident to the appropriate regulatory agencies and taking steps to prevent.
It said policies in here.
Yeah, the two things that drew me to this is one, I was reminded of one of the what's the word I'm looking for? One of the ethics, the code of ethics of acting honorably. And that's, immediately alerting the proper agency so then that way they could be made aware of the situation. And then there was I think somebody posted it in the group as how I found it, but it was like a PDF that showed the acronym BRAIN for how
Yeah.
you should look at the question and what drives the business and what will create a more long-term approach. So not only are you alerting everyone, but you're taking steps to prevent future incidents of this nature. So that's making sure that you're preventing this from happening again.
But if I go by that logic, then I should have gone for implementing additional security training for all employees, right? Because the thing is, we report the incident is not happening yet. So why report something that doesn't happen?
Yeah, it did, because it says the employee has been using their personal laptop to access and store patient data in violation of company policy. So the incident already took place.
But because I thought the incident taking place would have been, the patient's data accessed by unauthorized individual.
Oh, I see what
Well,
you're saying. You're saying that the information hasn't been leaked.
Yeah, correct. That's
Okay,
what
I
I'm
got
thinking.
you. I guess you can read it that way, but
But you look at this as an insider threat though, because
Yeah,
because they did that in an unauthorized way. So it is an unauthorized party because they have tried to, or not tried to, but they successfully stored that patient data unauthorized.
in the personal laptop. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
and to your point, Joshua, like you mentioned before, D is actually included in answer B under taking
Yeah.
steps to prevent future incidents of this nature. That would include training.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, good catch. Yep, that's true.
Right. We're gonna do one more. Okay. All right. You got L8. Oh,
Ooh, I messed up on that one. Okay, does more monitoring as well. But CASP does monitoring as well, doesn't it?
Well, the customer uses CASB because it's their responsibility to make sure that the proper individuals have access to the cloud providers. I'm trying to say to the to the
resources.
component within itself, yeah, to the resources. So I just look at CISSP as like it may be like a weird or funny thing, but I look at it as like a cab. Like it would take you where you need to go. So think of it like, you know, the customer or your employer gives you the destination, and they're the ones that's giving you the access, and you know you're now
Yeah,
being
but
able to get there.
working as a incident responder, like we do get alerts, you know, for CASB as well, like because like what it does is actually monitors, and then you know we can set up alerts and that kind of fits into the scenes. So,
Gotcha.
but that's
Reggie, can you
basically what I got.
scroll back up? Let me see. So you said that you all receive alerts from CISSP's,
Yes,
and so which option did you select?
D, because it
B.
says monitors. Yeah, D.
So in reality, D can also be entered in A because it focuses on securing access to cloud resources. So by securing, you would inherently, and I could be wrong, but you would inherently would believe that it's also monitoring and making sure that those who are getting access are having access, and those who aren't supposed to get access aren't getting access.
Yeah,
Just
but
by
let me,
extension, I guess.
let me point something out. Maybe I could be wrong here, but D, another thing here, I'm seeing some wordplay in there. I don't think any technology can really control user behavior. It says CAS monitor and control user behavior.
Oh, that part,
That's
yeah, I saw that part, but I was like, control user base. I just because I saw monitor, I just went for it. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good
Okay.
catch.
Yeah.
That's a good catch, Paul. I didn't even look at that. Yeah, control. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's technology, of course, as we know, that can monitor and kind of like, you know, track user behavior. But as far as control user behavior, but
That's
yeah,
impossible. Yeah.
I will say as an added note for you, you know, you got to take an exam again for what I remember. Definitely know with this cloud stuff because you will get that. Most definitely know the differences between who controls what and who's responsible for what between the cloud and the and the customer. Definitely know that inside and out. That's one thing I can tell you. Okay. So
Thanks for all the questions I have. For those who want to use the Thor, I don't know if everyone's familiar with that. But if you look at his platform, he does give a pretty good breakdown of everything.
So the questions we were just going over, it's based on what he has on Udemy.
Yes. So basically you go to all the videos because you have 30 questions each video, then you can go through all the questions right here, 125 questions, and from the easy to mid, and then you go to hard, and then you go down, easy to mid, then you go to hard again. So he gives you a nice little breakdown, you know, from hard questions to easy questions.
hey,
Gotcha.
Red,
And which one
the
were we
ones we
on?
went over, were they easy or hard, medium? The ones we did tonight.
Easy mid questions.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't do the hard ones.
Oh man, I can only imagine what the hard ones are.
You know what? It's a while. You know,
But you could actually be surprised that the
we
hard
started
drive might
doing
not
pretty
be.
good with the hard ones after a while. Once we start getting the mindset, we start doing pretty good with those.
Yeah.
So
You could be surprised that the hard ones might not be actually that difficult. Sometimes the
yeah.
easy ones are the ones that call are falling. Yeah, they
Yes.
actually very.
So the next time we jump on, I can on Tuesday I do some hard ones. We can mix up from hard ones to the mid to easy.
Gotcha.
It'll work. It'll work.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night.
Cool.
And
Thank
do
you
the
so
same.
much,
Appreciate you
guys.
all.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Red. Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
well,
Everyone.
Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.